Okay, so first of all, let's go ahead inside the scripts folder and right here click on player, then open up the player script. And as you know that we will be storing the player money and also the number of weapons the player have and also the number of missions the player completed. So we will be storing that. So right here on the player script, let's go ahead and create a header by the name of player inventory, and in here we will create a reference to our inventory script. So we will say public inventory, and let's name this as inventory as well. Then we need a reference to our mission script, so we will say public missions, and let's name this as missions as well. So basically we will be storing the player money and these two things. And for example, if you want to store some other things, then first of all call whatever you are storing right here, okay? And once you do that, get back to Unity, click on this serialization folder, and as you know, in here we have this save glow script. Right here we will also create another script by the name of player data, and with this script let's create another script which will be by the name of save system. Now let's open these both script, then click on player data. Right here we will remove the start and update function, and from the top we will remove this mono behavior, and then we will type system dot serializable. Then in here we will be creating the variables for data to store, okay? So first of all we will create a public integer by the name of player money because we will be storing the player money. Then also we want to store the player position, okay, because the player will save the game in the player home, okay? So we don't want that whenever we load the game the player stands outside of the player home, okay? We want it to be inside the player home. So for that reason we will store the player position. But as I told you in the previous video, we can't vector 3, okay? We can't use vector 3, so we will create a float array, and inside this float array it will take three elements which will be the position, x, y, z coordinates, okay? So let's name this as position. Then after this we want to store if the player has the weapons or not, okay? If the player pick up the first weapon, second weapon, third and fourth weapon, okay? We also want to store the weapon, or you can say that we want to keep a trace that whatever is inside the player weapons inventory, okay? So first of all we will say bool, public bool weapon 1 picked. And guys, let me tell you that we will name this as similar as we name it in the inventory script. If we open up the inventory script right here, okay, we have this weapon is weapon 1 picked, okay? We will name this the same right here as well. And if you want you can name this differently, okay? It doesn't matter, but I will just name this as similar to that because that will be really easy for us. Now after this we also want to check for the weapon 2, so we will say is weapon 2 picked, okay? Then we will create another bool which will be by the name of is weapon 3 picked, okay? And then the last one will be is weapon 4 picked. And then also we want to store our mission. We want to store that if the player completes the first mission, second mission, third and fourth, okay? So we need a reference for all of that. So I will create a bool by the name of mission 1, then public bool mission 2, and the name will be similar to our mission script bools, okay? These bools are different and these bools are different, okay? So just don't get confused in it. We are just naming them similar, okay? So then we will say public bool mission 3, then public bool mission 4. That is it. We will be storing this data, okay? If you want you can add even more data to it if you want to store any more data. And once you defined all of your data which you want to store, after this we still need to tell the class how to get this from the player, okay, from this player script. So to do that, we will be needing to create a constructor for our class, okay, for this player data class. And if you don't know about constructors, then the simple definition for constructor is that they act as a set of function for our class. So let's create a constructor, okay. Let's say public player data, and in here we will create a player by the name of player, okay. Or you can say that we are calling the player script in here, okay. Then when we call the script right here, we are ready to take data from our player script and store it right here, okay. As you can see on the player script, we have the player money, the inventory, and the missions, okay. So now we can store all of that right here. So first of all, let's start from the player money. So we will type this integer name, okay. So we will say player money is equals to player dot player money, okay. This player dot player money is this integer which is on the player script, okay, and this player money is this integer. So it means that now we have stored the player money. Then now after this we want to store the player position. So for the position we will say position equals to new float, and it will take three elements as I told you. The first one will be position 0, okay, or you can say position x of the player. So this will be equals to player dot transform dot position dot x, okay. Then we can just simply copy this, paste it two times, change this to position 1, position 2, and change this to position dot y and position dot z. And in this way we will store the player position. And as you know that we use player.transform.position, and as you know that the player script will be attached to our player game object. So by using that script we will get the player transform, okay. Now with our player position right here, now the next thing is to store the weapons, okay. So we will say is weapon 1 picked, okay. This is this bool is weapon 1 picked. So this will be equals to player dot inventory dot is weapon 1 picked. And you will be saying that on the player script we just have a reference to our inventory script, then where did this is weapon 1 picked come from? As you know that we have a reference right here, and right here on this player data we first of all added a reference to our player script. Then as you know on the player script we have this inventory script reference, so we use that reference, and then on the inventory script as you know we have this weapon 1 picked. So we can just simply get it like this, okay. Then we can just copy this, paste it three times, and now let's change this to is weapon 2 picked, is weapon 3 picked, is weapon 4 picked, and also right here change this to 2, 3, and 4, okay. Now after the weapons, now we need a reference to our missions as well. So mission 1, which is this bool, will be equals to player dot missions dot mission 1. And if we check the mission script right here, we have this mission 1 bool right there, okay. So in this way we can add reference to this, okay. But for that you must be first add a reference to inventory and mission script on the player script, okay. So once you added the reference to mission 1, then let's do it for the mission 2, 3, 4, and right here change this to 2, then 3, and then 4. And also we want to show some text in our console so that we know that if our game saved or not. So we will simply debug a message by the name of save, okay. So now once you take all of the data from the player script and save it right here on the player data, Now let's open up the save system script, and right here let's remove the start and update function, and at the top we will say using, I think it is system.io. This system.io is, I think, for the mobile phones. Okay, and then after this we will say using system dot runtime. Make sure the t right here is small. Okay, and then dot serialization dot formatter. It is formatters, then dot binary. Okay, so system dot runtime dot serialization dot formatters dot binary. I, I know that it is a little bit long, but you don't need to remember it. Just type it as it is, and then if you need it in your some other project, then you can just check it out from here or from the Unity website. That's it. And right here we will remove this mono behavior and make this a static class, because on this save system we will be just saving and storing the player data. Okay, which we did right here. So now this video is already too lengthy, so we will just end this video right here, and in the next video we will now save the data and then load that data as well. So let's end this right here.